Welcome to, what is it now, episode 4 for Department of Drift. As always, DJ Labsha, and this time our guest for tonight's podcast, Brent Peters from Luxe Performance. Colloquially known as the Sheriff, but that was from a long time ago, wasn't it, Brent?
Yeah, it was, back drifting and just, long time ago, back when, Jesus was riding around on dinosaurs.
Oh, wow. Wow. Depending on which school of thought you subscribed to. Yeah, absolutely.
That was back in the day of the Collie backtrack, mate, when it was
stadium.
That was something that I totally missed out on. I never got the chance to experience that. My drift background has literally been for the last 3 years, and that's it.
I'm seriously gutted because the last Matsuri that was available was the Matsuri I was going to attend, and then we ended up having to move house at the last minute.
Spewing.
And I couldn't attend. So I'm kicking myself all the time.
It sucks to be you.
Every Matsuri I'm like, I'm just going to turn up that little side. Yeah. There's still videos of you coming out the back. So, but no, it's good.
So, Brent, obviously, it's great to have you on. We were so happy that you could make your way all the way out to the back of Armidale. Obviously, for those of you that might know, we're actually filming this on the day where we have a pretty nasty bushfire actually raging about 4 Ks to the south of us. Looks like everything's been mopped up at the moment, but still things are pretty chaotic out there, and it looked like something out of Armageddon for a while there.
Yeah.
But
smoke
Brent,
cloud.
Tell me a little bit. We'll get on to Lux in just a moment, but tell me a little bit about yourself. You are not of this native soil. You're another one of our friends from the land of the long white cloud, aren't you?
Yeah. So New Zealand native, I suppose.
True, bro.
Yeah, true. Grew up in New Zealand. Grew up in Waitara, so in Taranaki. Did my high schooling in Hamilton, the city of the future. And then, went through high school, went through trade and TAFE, and worked at the, or Polytech it was called over there.
Yep.
Scored a really good job at the big power station they had there at Huntley. Through a series of events, ended up over here in Australia with some work, and the rest is sort of history with that. But more importantly, the car side of it, that's what leads to getting on here. But New Zealand's car mad. Like it's you can't explain it unless you know Kiwis or you've hung out in Kiwis or you've been over there. 4 million people. There's probably a dozen racetracks. Every hour there's a new racetrack. Drifting's huge. Drifting started to kick off in New Zealand. Same as over here about 2002, 2003. We sort of joke about the glory days. I was always sort of not hardcore into drifting. I liked it. I had a lot of friends that were really, really good, but I sort of still liked the circuit side of it. I was a mad rotorhead in New Zealand, like
most of you guys over there.
Yeah. I think that's like the forte of any Kiwi is like you love rotaries. It's just when you come to WA, you don't see it.
And it's got it's funny. Like I got a funny story there, but when I first moved to Queensland, went on a rotary cruise there, and it's a whole different scene because in New Zealand it's pretty outlandish. There's heaps of Rotorbogans. Like when I was in my teens.
Rotorbogans?
Yeah. I had
sounds like the Commodores of Rockingham.
I never had dreadlocks, but I had long hair, and I always had this mat, and it was just, we used to call it Mazda dreads because you're always lying in fucking gearbox oil or diff oil or something. So 18-year-old me had this yuck mop hair that was half a frullet,
sounds a bit like me, mate.
Wow.
Yeah, like DJ before a haircut.
Yeah, before he got his haircut. Back when, before he started looking presentable.
Yeah, so that's So grew up around Speedway. So a lot of family into Speedway. A lot of memories of going to local Speedway events. Stratford Speedway down in Taranaki, big memories there. Western Springs up in New Zealand.
It's a big spot.
Up in Auckland there.
Yep.
So that grew up around Speedway. As soon as I could drive, as soon as I got I had a car before I even got a license. I had a little Mazda 323, ended up putting a
guy?
Yeah. No, this was a square front. Ended up putting a banger in that.
You'll learn about them over time. So
I had that, crashed that.
As we all do.
Got another one, crashed that. Had a really sweet RX-4 for a bit that was pretty rubbish now I think about it. With the value of those cars, it was through the roof.
It's hard to find one of those that's less than 7 or 8 in a really terrible condition.
Yep.
Yeah. This was,
and they were throwaways in NZ. People hated them.
I can't believe that.
The PPRE as a rotary shop put a 26B into one and then put a 6 rotor into one just because people...
A 6 rotor?
Yep. 6 rotor.
Holy crap.
Yep, a 6 rotor. Mad Mike drove it. It did a burnout 4th gear down the straight the whole way, NA. Yeah. And made like 800 horsepower on the dyno. But another one, they hated the shape, so they put it in that just to get rid of the hatred.
Gee.
I always like the 4s because they're a bit bigger, but more American looking. And inside they have like a cockpit. So they got like a panel along the roof with like switches on it. Yeah. So I always thought that was way cool.
From factory.
From factory,
right.
Like little like cabin lights and a couple of switches and your seatbelt and a warning light or something. I can't remember now, but I just used to love it. And they had a little 12A turbo and that with a little carbureted turbo setup.
Blow through, like hint.
Gotta love blowies. But that was a cool little car. Ended up swapping that. What did I swap that for? Swap that for the engine that went into. My RX-7. No, I swapped that for a Mazda 1200U.
Yep.
That I got Tyson Racing New Zealand to quarter chassis.
Yeah.
I was going to go down because import drag racing was huge back then, so I was actually going to go down that path.
Yep. Which I think majority of cars went.
Yeah, and they quarter chassised it for me. For a while there, I brought Brent Curran. He's another big rotary freak over in New Zealand. I brought his old 3D3 that was tubbed. Thinking I might just fast track it and go race that NA.
Yeah.
Spent a bit of time with the Tynans at the racetrack there, and then a guy offered me for the little 1200 that was at Tynan's workshop still hasn't even finished it. Offered me a swap for an RX-7.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I just want to drive. I want something that's going.
Yep.
Brought the RX-7, pulled it apart. Didn't drive it. Didn't finish it.
Every person that has a project car is like, I bought a perfectly running car and pulled it apart.
Yeah, pulled it apart. Built a solid engine. Did some skids.
Yeah.
Did a bit of stuff with it and then moved to Australia. And did a bit of racing and mucking around and then
So before you go too much further, how old were you when you did actually come to Australia?
Yeah.
And what year was that?
Man, I would have been 26, something like that. 2000 and...
So old enough to know better, young enough to not give a shit.
Yeah, no, anyways. And I moved...
Dumb, and I'll leave the rest up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, moved to Australia and then I was out of cars for a while because I was working really hard, working away, working offshore.
Yep. As most people do when they come to Australia.
Yeah. And then got a fairly solid onshore job in Queensland. Brought another Mazda, brought an old Cosmo, old 4-door Cosmo.
Oosh.
Yeah.
Put a big turbo into that. Fanged around in that and then went back offshore. Went back to the UK for a little bit for his project. And then really wanted to stay offshore. Moved to Darwin for a job. Sold everything up in Queensland. Moved to Darwin. Went to Darwin for an interview on the Monday. Tossed everything in. Got a flight to Darwin on the Friday night. Andrea was still in Queensland at the stage.
Yep.
Brought a car on the Saturday. Went to the track on the Sunday for a speed event series, come and try day, and they had drifting in the afternoon. Yep. So I brought an S14, like cool. It's so
that's where that came
from. Powerful thing, like good car to go circuit racing with.
Yep.
Went drifting, met Danny Probert. The first day up there, Danny, a few other guys, the Ford brothers, so they don't drift anymore, but those guys were absolute legends of the territory. Yep. And Shane Davidson, you got to meet these dudes, like dead set legends of the territory. And I went and did this come and try day, and I sucked.
Yep.
I was so shit. I was like the worst.
Love it.
Like I just, and they've got a really cool section there at Hidden Valley, the Turn 5 layout. It's really cool. It's Mungie Central if you're in a low power car.
Yep.
And I just ate shit. I sucked. I was in the dirt. I couldn't figure it out. It was pissing me off.
So you were like Richard Lazar for everybody else in
just throw him under the bus.
Mate, he throws himself in the sand.
Jeez.
I was just like firing it in and just, I'm like, I don't know what I'm I'm doing. This looks so easy. All my good mates in New Zealand that I've driven with for years, you make it look so easy. And then, I've mucked around at the track and gone to a couple of drift days before. And then I went into this, and I'm like, I suck.
Yeah. Hey, Deej, just pull the mic a bit closer. Just get it set up.
There we go.
And just tilt it back a little bit. Yeah.
So we can cut as we go.
Up a little bit more. There you go. That's better.
Here.
There we go. That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. Well, so this will go
there we go. That's better. Yeah. So Rotary's led into coming, like, Rotary's followed you from New Zealand to Australia.
Yep. I'll always have one. Yeah. My wife's as much into Rotaries. She's a bigger fan of bangers than me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
We call them chook cookers over here.
Yeah.
But like, there's almost a disrespect for them. There's almost a disdain for them. And I mean, we don't have any in WA drifting.
No,
we have any in Australia.
So we now got Tezza Ingram.
Yeah, he's old school from Adelaide days.
Yeah, he's from way back. And then also we had Alex Afino.
Right.
Who's got the Mystery Machine S14. He also has the FC that looks like
That's right, yeah.
Looks like a boat shed that has never had attention.
But I've only ever seen that thing once.
Yeah, it's been to a few events. I battled him at one of the Drift West rounds, I think.
Right.
In the FC coming up the 80GP layout. So it was like an NA versus NA. It was hilarious.
Yeah, he did.
How long is this turbo?
He did like a Matt Zeri with it and just caned it.
Fix your cable up because you've done it again.
What do you mean?
You see how it's all tight? So you need to pull. Yeah, you need to pull a little bit more, feed a bit more through. Feed it, Deej. Feed it.
Oh, yeah. Fist me, daddy. What?
Wow.
There's some deep shit going on there.
That goes in the recording.
Jesus Christ.
Alex's FC is fucking badass. Yeah. One you guys won't remember, but Aiden Zakowski, he's got an FC. The first BDA I ever went to is where he had a bit of a stack with it. I think he's still got it. It's a really cool car, really tiny car. Yeah, white FC. Okay. Pretty sure he's still got it. Nice tidy white car. Yeah.
That's cool because he's the one with the Corolla, the little
he's an amazing
400
driver.
Horsepower 4-cylinder as well.
Yeah, that thing was incredible at the most recent event we saw him at, and really understated, really sort of quiet sort of dude. Yeah, he's not brash.
Yeah, what's it? The onion knot or onion top?
Bush onion.
Bush onion. That's
come on, boys. Come on.
That's the nickname he's got. Because he's got the whole up the top.
He's champion driver, and is like tradesman wise. Is wicked fabricator. His wiring's like, I don't know if you guys have a chance to see, but he works on quite a few high-end race cars as well, and some of the wiring he does.
PSA's head wiring tech, yeah?
Yeah, like he does some, he works, since they changed up the way they're doing things at All-Star, Dave snookered him over to PSA, but Aiden just does some amazing work. Really top quality tech. This is the cool thing, like I'm hoping this podcast you guys do, like I hope to expose it. Within Drift, there are some of the best fabricators and best technicians and best dudes out in WA. It's just not known.
Yeah, that's right.
They're kept under the rock.
Yeah,
the rock that is WA. That's 20 years behind everyone else in the rest of the country.
We've got traffic lights on our freeway, man. Come on. Our highway still has traffic lights.
What the fuck is Reed Highway only 90 k's an hour? There's 4 fucking lanes and it's separated.
Because you can max out 4th gear well at 90 k's an hour. That's the reason why.
What, in a burrito?
We don't condone drifting on the road, people.
Max out 4th gear at 90.
4th gear. We've got 6-gear transmissions these days.
I've got an SR. LS, mate. Too much wheel spin.
All right, so let's take it back. Luxe.
Yep.
Where did it all start for you?
So Luxe is not a lot of people know the whole background with Luxe.
Yeah.
Basically, Luxe sort of started as an idea when we were in Darwin, and then we moved to Perth. And it had 2 facets, right? I'm looking at my hands. What do I do with my hands? I had
Ricky Babby. What do I do with my hands?
No, it had 2 facets. One was had an awkward experience with a local shop where I actually sent Andrea to go buy some bits for me. Like, it's like you run out of time busting your ass to get to make an event, And even at drifting, there's no minute like the last minute.
Always.
When it comes to servicing, when it comes to entering the competition, when it comes, we covered that before.
We find out we have no engines 3 days before an event, and we're like, we're going to cancel.
No more spots. Yeah.
And the next morning, where's all the spots gone?
Yeah.
It's last minute for everything.
So you sent Andrea to go get bits. Now Andrea is your lovely wife.
My lovely wife, she's amazing.
Hey Brent, this is going to be seen by hundreds of people. Now's your chance to suck up.
You better suck up,
like everyone knows me. Like not a lot of people know me, but like everyone knows me that I'm completely hopeless without Andrea. She is she's the one that keeps all the shit together.
Yeah.
And as well as we've got a beautiful son. We've got another kid on the way. So she is just the rock. She is Luxe Performance.
Yeah.
She's the one who came up with the name. And so like I said, it's 2000. So one was frustration of. Because we were new to WA, we didn't know all of the who's who in the shops. And being drifting as well, drifting's got a lot more motion now than it had 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We actually get treated a bit seriously when you walk into a workshop because I've seen some of the builds that are out there and the quality and the dedication that some of the guys have. But back then it was like, didn't know where to go, went to shop ABC, and because I'm not throwing around the bus because everyone's really good.
Yeah.
More people help, people go on the trucks better.
Yeah.
Couldn't get what we wanted. She was treated fairly poorly
because being female in a predominantly
that's a start. But the fact that she's looking for parts for a drift car as well,
that's even worse.
You are literally scum of the earth.
And it was like real basic shit. So it's like, man, we can't get this stuff. So we looked around, and then like this was at the time where Andrea was changing what she was doing with her career, and we're like, we looked at a bit of an idea of like, well.
Sorry.
Why don't we spill beer everywhere? No. E-commerce was sort of kicking off, and there's all that buzz around secondary income, making all that sort of stuff work. And so Luxe literally started off as an idea and then an e-commerce platform through a speedway mate in New Zealand said, hey, why don't you? I'm like, man, I want to start a race shop. Yeah. I can't just email shops and say,
give me
buy some stuff. Can you give me trade discount? Whatever. And he's like, no, you need to get your own products. I'm like, yeah, I need to get my own products. He's like, do this. And so do this. And so Luxe started off with basically it was no mix socks, no mix balaclavas, no mix undergarments.
Yep.
Because it's for speedway. Drifting's a little bit different, but for speedway, most classes, you need
that's your basic
2 layers
requirement.
Plus that, especially once you start getting up into the methanol bad boys.
Yeah.
The big beasts.
Yeah, so we did that. We did stickers. We did a few other bits and pieces. And then that led to an Amazon FBA store.
Right.
So for people who don't know what Amazon FBA is, it's new to Australia now, but it's been in the States for eons.
Yeah.
And they have a really awesome model where you open like a online store through
like
Amazon.
an eBay store almost.
Like an eBay store. And they warehouse the inventory for you. You send it to them. We have a handler in the States. We have some really good manufacturers. That we use now.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, so we send our product to the States. They hold it for us. And then this is why Amazon is so powerful. And if they can get it under check in Australia, they will kill everything.
Yeah.
So what Amazon does is then they ship your product all around America to where the demand is at the time. I can log in at any one time and see where my product is being shipped to based on the demand for it at the time.
Damn.
So when the seasons are changing over there, I see 20 balaclavas go from the East Coast to the West Coast.
Yep.
Or 100 or whatever.
And you don't even have to do that. They do that for you.
Yeah. And then, you lob into a pool if you've got mainstream brands, it's all pulled together. And then, the power of Amazon, if you're a Prime member, this sounds like an ad for Amazon now over here, but in the States,
Amazon,
works. It works, man. Like in the States, so if you go to a race meet, they have 4-day race meets, right? You lob it on the Thursday for scrutineering, get prepped up. Friday's normally testing, running, licensing passes, all that sort of stuff. Drag racing and speedway do it fairly similarly. Yeah. The big events are week-long exercises. Yeah, they do that.
It's like FD now as well. FD's apparently week-long.
FD's like that. Yeah. You lob in. So if you need something, if you fail scrutineering and you need an SFI balaclava in the States, you jump on Amazon Prime. You need one for you. You need one for you and your 3 pit stop guys.
Yep, instant.
Cool, I need 4. Do it. I'm already an Amazon Prime member because I'm a commercial workshop.
Yeah.
Whatever. Do that. It'll be at the racetrack. If you order it before 10 in the morning, it'll be there that afternoon. If you order it before...
You know about that?
Yeah.
Amazon. No, this is all.
Yeah. Amazon delivery.
First that I have ever actually heard of it.
In America is amazing.
I know that Amazon has pipped eBay in the States big time because of. I didn't actually realise it, but I always knew that they had much quicker delivery times than
and that's because
eBay.
It's FBA models.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So you pay a prime for it, but for us, we don't. We there's a bit of relationships going on and stuff like that, but. Yeah, when you see the movements of stuff, like Amazon's got some smart stuff with the warehousing. They're moving product all the time based on where the demand is.
Right.
If you've got product that isn't turning over, you're going to get charged for having. But if it's turning over, there's incentives to keep punching that stuff over there.
Because they're making their little bit of their little pound of flesh off every single sale. Yeah. So, Brent, we've covered basically the sort of in very basic sort of terms, the very basic sort of distribution model that Luxe sort of started with, moving through Amazon as opposed to something like eBay. You had a whole heap of advantages over someone else that was trying to maybe start an online store. But an online store or a race shop's only as good as the bits and pieces that it actually sells. What are some of the stuff that you can actually distribute, and what are some of the real good news stories of products that you've found have a real traction in the market here in Australia?
So the Amazon thing, they got off the ground, they got us into the States, and they'd actually got the ball rolling and say, hey, we can actually do this. Like, we can make a business out of this. We can, and that's when, not long after that, we found out we're going to have our first child, and I'm like, man, we need to make a real business that can support Andrea's wage. She's not working, give her something to do, or something that she can own, she's an incredible woman. And they listened, well, what do we need to do in Australia? And that was at the same time as I was coming out of being a bit more competitive and needing better gear myself. Yeah. So I started making good relationships with people in Australia, sorting out the business, all the business names and business IDs and tax, all that sort of stuff. Took us a bit to get our head around.
All the boring stuff. Yeah. All that, but it's so necessary.
All the legalities that no one ever talks about.
Yeah. Tax is a fucker, but it's,
the tax man loves his payday.
You can't get out of it. You've got to do it. It's the right thing for the country. So, cool tax aside. But we had to sort all that out. And then, through the way, we've got a couple of really good wholesalers that we work with. So we've got some, and so we've had a few products that we direct import that we've found some good suppliers for. So our heat wrap that we get in now and our turbo beanies. We went through a few different suppliers, and some of them were junk, to be honest. Like we got gypped with some shit. And that's just the adventure of trying to figure this direct importing stuff out.
The hard part with that is it hurts your brand.
Oh yeah,
because you sell it and people use it and go, "What is this junk? It's falling apart."
And they'll remember it.
Yeah. They'll remember you for the negative. They'll never remember for the good. They'll always look at the negative side of it and go, "Yeah, that was junk." But
and that's sort of we say to, and I do a lot of stuff, and they say and luckily having my car there as well, there's nothing that I sell that I haven't used myself.
On your car,
right.
So it's we've tested it all, and then I'm lucky. I got some really good mates with baller cars that I've flicked stuff to, and they've tried it out. So the heat wrap, that's an example of one we directly import ourselves. We went through, we found out what was the Chinese shit and what was the genuine shit, and how we could get it for cheap enough to be able to sell it at an eBay beating price. Because drifters are tight as fuck.
Hell yeah.
Any race is tight.
So we wanted to find a product that was decent, and the testament to it is the heat wrap that we bring in now. Greaves runs it in anger, and his cars are insane. If he can't hurt it, no one can. We ran the Enduro Bathurst with Brad's car, probably one of the most highly strung SRs in the country. Probably one of the more powerful SRs in the country, and a circuit spec car.
One of the prettiest cars too.
Without a doubt.
Seriously is.
And the engineering detail that goes into that thing.
It was interesting. I was actually looking at Andrew Hawkins from Motive DVD, his posts over the Bathurst 12 hour, and he's of the opinion that there's a lot in Brad's car that mirrors or is very similar to what's going on in Jet 200. His time attack car,
with aero and a lot of that sort of stuff.
And two totally isolated sort of situations, and they've both sort of aligned up. It really does go to show that both of those guys have got their head head screwed on as far as that kind of stuff goes.
It works.
Yeah,
definitely.
So that's a good news story of that product. And then there's we got Valo. So there's a wholesaler over east we used to use for OMP. Though OMP is really hard to deal with. It's an amazing product, but until recently, I'll go through it in a minute what's changed with OMP recently with us. But before, you used to have to wait on containers and shipments and stuff like that. And I'm lucky most of the drivers, most people I sell to have been mates as well with some stuff. But, a guy would order 2 seats. I'd punch through the online order, pay for it, like everything's cash up front, pay for it. Cool, sweet. And then 3 days later, instead of expecting a delivery note, I'd get an email from the wholesaler saying, we've sent one, the other one's on back order, ETA 4 months.
You were what?
Wow.
What the
And I got caught out with that.
That's not like a 10 years ago type thing. That's a recent thing.
That's as recent as the middle of last year.
Oh, wow.
So that's
just not acceptable.
Yeah.
Not in today's day and age.
Now everything's instant. It's got to be there within a week.
It has to be.
So in every retailer that I've talked to that's dealt with this similar wholesaler, there's 2 of them that do the same game over East. It's all the same story. So, you figure out, and that's the relationship. And the more stock you buy, the more stuff you turn over, you figure these things out. It's just business, So through that, I had someone that specifically wanted Velo. Velo's Australian made, amazing product. Dudes are awesome to deal with, really genuinely Australian dudes. Like Adrian is wicked. He's got the guys from Autosport helping him out. Just Aussies, So just through that, I'm like, cool, man, good. I've got a guy who wants a couple of seats. How do I buy them off you? Do you do a trade price? He's like, yeah, cool, man. We do this for wholesaler, for retailers over there. Actually, we've got no one that's holding stock in WA anymore for our product. And I'm like, that's cool. He said, if you do this, if you hold this many seats, if you hold this many things, this is the price. I'm like, really? Like, no other wholesalers, said, or no other brand. Like, these are the guys. So Adrian's actually the guy that makes the seats,
Right.
He said this. And I'm like, cool, man. We'll stock them. So I keep pretty much one of each model of Velo in stock and in each size. So someone can come and look. They can either buy one if they want, or sometimes they have 2 or 3 because it's starting to go pretty good with Velo. But it's like you can come to home, come to the trailer, come to the racetrack. So we've got a big Brad.
So you got the big display set up now that sits out the front, looks hell pro.
Yeah, you just come try out the seat. The other good thing is Velo, the size range is pretty good. So they do an entry level seat, which is slightly bigger than most other seats on the market.
Right.
Just on that, I actually hit Brent up for my own seat originally, and then I was literally at the cusp of going, here's the cash, and then one of the other drifters actually ended up selling his seats, which fit me.
Right.
But I went through Brent again. I'm like, can you check these? Can you make sure they look good? And they turned out to be legit bride seats. They were all above board. They weren't China.
So what you're actually trying to say here is that you totally blue-balled Luxe Performance.
No.
But
you almost could say that, but no, Brent's of that type of person. Regardless of if he gets your business or not, he'll always help you out.
Yeah, as far as the whole buying experience goes. And I think one of the massive things these days where we value immediacy and simplicity when it comes to buying something, regardless of whether it's for your home, for your house, for your wife, for your car, whatever. It's got to be easy, simple. And if a supplier isn't making the effort to make it
an experience
simple as it possibly can be and easy, then you've lost their business before you've even started.
Definitely.
100%. And that's not the first time it's happened. Like, drifting or any motorsport is expensive as shit. Like we're very, very lucky to be able to do it, right? I'd love to sell DJ a couple of grand's worth of seats, but if that's not the best product for his budget, or if I can help him buy something else, he's cool. He might buy the harnesses off me. He's going to go to the racetrack and he's going to have what he needs, and he's going to get on the racetrack. And then he's going to get addicted to it, and he's going to come back and buy more shit. So
exactly.
It'd be foolish of me to say,
he's my dealer.
I'm not going to help you out. I'm not going to help you out because you're not buying shit off me. No, we want, and that's what I said. I'm going to bag out other shops. The more people racing, the more people getting on the racetrack, the better it is, because motorsport is really suffering in the tight climate.
We really do need to streamline and grease the wheels when it comes to getting these people out in a timely and an on budget sort of style, don't we?
And that probably leads to there's another major brand that I carry now. So Velo's awesome. That's helped me out. They've enabled me to carry a good range of seats that suit every level of motorsport. And then suits. So we've always done our SFI range that we do in the States. We also do an FIA range, which you need for circuit racing, like what I do. And they're a lot higher level suit. And again, I used to do a bit of OMP gear, pedaled it through the guys. was my MP myself. And then Mike Nahn, so back to basic, Mike Nahn used to run performance race gear in WA. And I met him a fair while ago, brought bits and pieces off him. He's sort of Mr. Safety. He's transitioned into a lot of speedway gear. He's the guy who's responsible for bringing the P1 brand into Australia. So a bit of a background on P1. The guy that originally was the originator for Sparko has a real passion for...
and that's a full-on international brand that is synonymous with racing, with everything.
Massive brand. So the guy was the guy behind Sparko. He split off. Sparko sold out. Sparko became globalized. A lot of things changed within that company. Then they started doing everything.
Corporatization. It's a standard thing that happens.
But this guy's passion is race wear. Just race wear and drivers. That's all he cares about. He's done a lot of testing for the FIA. So he really knows his shit when it comes to making a suit. And he's very, very pro the quality of an Italian suit and the lightweight of the research they put into their gear. So P1 is a really high-level brand of suit, right? And Mike's the guy that was responsible for bringing P1 to Australia, and he's like ultimately the wholesaler there. And approached him and said, hey, and he turned around straight away because I went to buy some gear. I brought bits and pieces of stuff and went to go buy some more stuff. He's like, I've seen what you're doing. I was doing little trade stands at the drift meets, the tent. I was thinking about how do I get that bigger? What do I do? I want to grow stuff. And Mike's like, you need to get some premier brands. Like you need some real shit.
Some proper,
some hardcore shit,
the good stuff.
The socks and balaclavas aren't going to cut it anymore.
It's like you need to get some decent brands. You need to hold some decent stock. If you're going to do it properly, this is what you need to do. So, and he gave me a way in. And, it helps a lot of people out because P1 is the quality is far better than most on the market these days. The weight is insane. They're very, very lightweight suits. The finish is incredible. The customization is next level for dealing with. And they're still comparable price-wise. So you can do an entry-level FIA suit, sub $700.
Wow.
Between $500 and $700 thereabouts, depending on there's a couple of different ranges they do. The newer ones are really good. Then P1 does a range called Passion, which has got a big expandable side in it for dudes like me that are a bit fatter,
and myself knocking things over.
Bears, so
give me that.
Yeah, show. Put that on camera briefly. What it is.
That there. It's a little. It was a hip flask. It was actually a Ford racing hip flask, and I decided I was going to paint it. So
it might make an appearance one day as a hip flask again.
It's all right. The paint smells just about gone from inside.
So we checked that at episode 2 the last time.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It's still not great.
The reason Ford was selling them was hip flasks because their technicians drunk it all, and that's how they came up with the design of that new Mustang. It's just horrible.
You still experience with that.
So back to P1, the Passion suit. That's a really popular local suit. It allows drivers to get a suit that'll fit them for quite relatively easy money without having to go to a ginormous suit that's too long everywhere else. Stuff like that. So anyway, P1 is just an amazing brand. They're really killing it in the market at the moment. And their suits are just the best quality you can get. Their undergarments are the lightest on the market. The leather, they do a full Italian leather race boot. I did some for J McElroy.
One of the guys, obviously I commentate at the Perth Motorplex, and we've got a really, really strong outlaw Nitro Funnycar field at the moment, and one of the new initiates into that is Kyle Putland. He's also got the 3-seater drag car that came out to one of the meets recently. And like we're talking over 4,000 horsepower.
Stupid times.
Big fuel pumps and nitromethane. I mean, this stuff is so brutal. Like we had an event recently. Now, admittedly, it was a big show. It was a pair of big show Nitro Funnycars. So twin magneto, big fuel pumps on them, and are in somewhere in the order of like 8,000 to 10,000 horsepower.
Yeah,
right. These things are absolutely insane, and we saw one of them blow up on the start line. There was Anthony Begley in Chemic. No, he was in the car. Well, the body. Yeah, the chassis looks like it's still going to be okay. The motor's junk.
Okay, so the chassis is actually still good.
But there's bits and pieces that are okay.
Damn.
But anyway, I mean, nitromethane, it creates its own oxygen as it burns.
Yeah.
So the stuff is as volatile as it comes. I mean, the strange thing about that stuff is you can pour it on the ground and you throw a match on it and it won't ignite.
Yeah.
But you hit it with a ball peen hammer.
Yep.
Literally, just smack it with a ball peen hammer. It'll explode and send you on your ass. So one of the guys that's actually just come into the Outlaw Nitro Funny Car Brigade is Kyle Putland, and he's dressed, I think it's pretty much top to bottom.
Yep.
He's got the boots, he's got the P1 suit, he's got the gloves. The gloves are absolutely
I still need to get me some skeleton ones.
I put, the gloves that Putland's got are absolutely, like, they're a second skin.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. I actually had a look at them, and they just are so well made. The quality is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's some incredible stuff, and you are putting your life on the line in that instance. Yeah. So if it's good enough for guys like him, when you look back to drifting, now I know this might hurt a few feelings out there, but drifting's a little bit pedestrian when you compare it to a 4,000 horsepower Nitro Funny Car.
8,000 horsepower, but so,
that's right.
In that range, it's literally...
It's a little pedestrian in comparison.
You're saddling a grenade.
Absolutely.
That's literally what you're doing in a Nitro Funny Car.
But I mean, and he's got nothing but praise for the gear. He loves it.
Immensely awesome, dude.
Like, touching on drifting with the P1 sets, I mean, you got the likes of Connor Shanahan. I mean, you see him jumping around in parades like a monkey in that suit, and it's super flexible. You know, he's not having to do anything awkward. And I think both him and Jack both run P1 suits in the IDC series. So it's
Brent. Have you worn a bad suit? Have you had a genuinely bad fire suit experience?
Yeah, like previous to going to P1, And again, the suit I wear from P1, I just wear an off-the-shelf size.
Yeah.
It's maybe a little bit baggy in places on me now. I've lost a bit of weight, but before it was good. I want to plug that, keep hashing that race weight.
But get that weight down, boy.
No, like the suit I wear now, like I can wear it in the middle of summer and still be nice.
You're not going to die.
It's amazing how thin it is.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I had the old wool-style Nomex suits.
Yeah.
You get out of, and the first circuit race I did in one, I thought I was going to die. Just such hard work. So, and then Kyle, for instance, so with the suit, with the setup he wears in his altered, so before that, he had the traditional two-piece Simpson-style suit.
Yep.
Weighed like
it's a jacket, it's a pair of pants, and you've got those big over boots that basically come halfway up your calf.
Jesus, wow.
Yeah, it's horrible. And, that's why Kyle fell in love with the leather boot, because the controls in that altered, the finite room that he's got no room in that thing. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's like the tiniest pedal box in the world to move with.
Basically. It's just levers, man.
Yeah.
Wow. It's nuts.
You're pushing, they're bent rods, basically. Oh, jeez. That's it.
I got to get down to a Perth motor.
You've got to see this shit, man. And the dedication of these guys, it's intense. But, so Kyle, not only did he save a couple of kilos in weight, which is important in that division of racing, just on his suit, he got some better dexterity in his gloves for pulling the buttons for the gear changes, and in his feet for the moving thing. It's incredible to see the difference in someone who prays the gear that much. And with P1, with what Mike's doing with pushing the speedway side, he's got the best speedway drivers in the world in P1 now. There's been some horrible flame ups with some of the guys, and you've seen what's happened to the suit, and the praise is there. It's amazing stuff. So that was a big turning point for us. We got Velo, we got P1, we got through P1. We also got Scroth. So the best Hans devices you can get now. So it's a lot of guys are into the Scroth Hans, Scroth harnesses.
That's actually making its way into drifting slowly but surely.
So all your national sports, you got all your big international series, D1 and Z at the faster tracks.
I've seen Lana now has it through IDC. Seen him wearing his Hans device that you have to put on. So I think it's becoming a standard now.
Yeah, and even for entry level rallying, it's mandatory now.
There's a couple of different styles of the Hans devices out there. There's I think a lot of the drag races they use the hybrid.
Yeah, Simpson hybrid.
Yeah.
So that's one you wear. So I'm pretty opinionated about Hans devices.
Of course.
And that's why people like me, because I'll say it straight what works for me, and then I'll help figure out what works for you. So for me and my experience, I've had a hybrid personally. What I didn't like about a hybrid in a tin top, like a Skyline, what we call tin tops.
Wow.
In a tin top, I've got the space where I can put my helmet on in the car. So I can put my helmet and the Hans device on in one motion, right? It's quite easy. With a hybrid, you wear it. So you wear a harness type
straps
thing.
underneath
straps
your arm.
on. You got little clips that go up to your helmet. Even with the quick release hybrid clips, they're quite fiddly, and it's a two-person job basically to put your helmet on. So if you've got a car that you can't get into with your helmet on, so some of the tin tops are quite short in the door openings,
right?
So you can't actually get in with the helmet on because you bash it on the cage, you chip it up. If you've got a nice helmet, you don't want to do that.
Maybe your fabricator decided to leave a fistful of space between the bar and the actual roof.
You've got a cage that doesn't fit the car, or you've got window net brackets that sometimes get in the way of people's helmets and stuff like that. So with a hybrid, you've got to do that, or you've got to get someone reach through and help clip you up, whatever.
Yeah.
So for drag racing, for speedway, it doesn't matter too much because you're jumping in and out from the top of the car normally.
Yeah.
You don't have that same issue.
Yeah. 1 sec.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. So that's with and some people say the hybrid is a bit more comfortable because it doesn't have as much pressure on the top of your nipple line. Which you get with the other horseshoe harns.
So we kind of learn how women feel with bras and bra straps.
Yeah,
you know,
like
we
if you've got a bit more muscle in your chest area, you don't notice it. Yeah, especially if you're running a really high end harns, where they're lightweight one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my personal experience with the hybrid. Doesn't work for my scenario. Works really well for other ones. But the best speedway drivers in the world, they're in a Scroth. Yeah. A lot of the drag racers are in the carbon harns now. Yeah. Yeah. There's all and it's personal preference. A little bit. Some people are just more comfortable knowing that they're wearing something, so it's attached to them.
Yeah, that whole feeling of being loved by something. You're like, that's going to save my neck. It's like,
the harns, and there's a lot of myths out there about harns. Like, I should have brought some with me. I'd love to bring some to the show next time and show you, because a lot of drifters are like, you can't see angle. I'm like, man, if you're pulling more angle than Mad Mike and you can't see,
I was going to say that.
That's a cop out. That's just the sliding tethers.
I was going to say it's also from what I've seen, they've got the thing that runs up the back of your helmet, but the strap tethers that go into your helmet go through a slot. Yeah, so when you turn, the only thing that's stopping you is where it actually clips in. But by then, you're pretty much 90 degrees anyway.
So if you can turn your head around enough to look through like that much angle, like you've got a better neck than me. You're a giraffe.
You're an owl with 180 degrees of
imagine
neck rotation.
That'd be good.
It's not bad.
Yeah, like when you've got one on, like you know you've got it on, and you're in tight, and you know
you're safe.
Shit's real.
I'm in a race car.
Do you think that Australian drifting is making the right moves when it comes to safety?
It's starting to. Like I can't bag cams out, but we're behind the 8 ball compared to New Zealand by miles. We're behind the 8 ball compared to
So what's New Zealand doing that we're not doing?
So New Zealand is, for years, they've had mandatory cages.
I was going to say, when I just searched on that, with roll cages, when I first discovered drifting as a sport, it was mandatory. And this is grassroots level. I'm talking like now you go buy an S13, first thing you're spending your money on is a roll cage.
Give me the lay of the land. Roll cage is actually...
In drifting, in WA, it's not mandatory.
Right.
At all. Yeah. So you can do a 4th gear entry into cat, and if you're on your lid, you're pretty much you'd be lucky to get out.
It's not
good. Where like NZ, as Brent was saying, they led the way from the get go. It's a dangerous sport. Roll cage mandatory.
Okay, so at what stage do you look at that and say, righto, drifting is only just really sort of starting to find its feet? If we implement a mandatory roll cage rule, we are going to shoot ourselves in the foot. Now, obviously, safety is paramount. We've had it drilled into us. So, it goes right back to the days of the Australian government ads for wear your seatbelt. It's just ingrained into you these days. So we know that safety is important. We know that safety needs to be put on a pedestal, and safety needs to be valued to an incredibly high degree. But do you think there's a point at which you sort of say, well, screw it all, we have to have a cage?
Yep. So I've been really vocal on this, both on a local level and a national level with the CAMS development boards.
Because just briefly on that, Brent is a registered CAMS cage inspector. Yep. So the guy that checks your cage and says, yep, it's good for race, Brent's one of them.
Right.
So I've been really vocal on this. We've got a guy, we're lucky in WA, one of the representatives to the National Council for CAMS, Mike Gallagher, old guy.
Yep.
Well, no, Mike's not actually that old. I shouldn't say that. He'll probably listen to this and I'm fucked. Mike races a beautiful Jag. He's an extremely talented driver and a gentleman, but he's also a representative to the National Council. And part of that remit of him is drift.
Yep.
So the last since I was in Dartmouth, for 5 years now, cams have been struggling to figure out what they do about drift, because drift is a non-speed event category at the moment, or a speed event now, but it's not a race event. And then you got guys that are building these cars that are more psycho than sports events. So you got like Adam Monk's machine, just a complete fucking monster. Yeah. Brendan Greaves, all the guys over the weeks, Mo, you know, those guys with these huge supercharged, extremely powerful, really lightweight, just weapons, beautifully engineered, really, the safe cars as well. Yeah. The beautifully engineered safe cars. At one aspect, no one can afford, there's not many people that can work hard enough or have the dedication and the backing and the dollar, all this stuff that makes it work off to build a $150,000 monster, right? And then the other aspect, you guys just want to turn up and learn how to drift. And you got the entry level stuff, which you need, because out of the 100 people that turn up on a Give It a Go day, or the 50 people or whatever, only one might ever get to the link where they're going to go, shit, I'm going to put 20 grand aside and go to an interstate round. There's, you know, it's a dilution. It happens. Same with drag racing, any motorsport. So you have to have, like, what I've been pushing for is two really separate splits. Competition drifting, balls to the wall, caged cars, door on door, goers, just
if you ride it off, it's fine. You're not going to die.
Yeah, just like competition, race, fastest tracks, biggest entries, wildest shit you can imagine. And then you're going to have entry level stuff. Still the big tracks, but solo runs.
Yeah.
You know,
or distant runs.
And that's what Cam's struggling. They're trying to make it now where it might just be race level for competition, hardcore stuff, and then car park sort of stuff for everyone else. And I think that's not quite right either, because you want to get on the big track.
Yeah.
You need to do short course at Barb's, even without a cage. Like, short course at Barb's kicks ass.
Yeah. I'd say you do what I do, and we up at my 33 on its side and the mirror touch dirt, but
you know, like...
Hey, but did you die?
Yeah.
No,
did you die?
And that's where Cam's is really struggling, because... and then I'll talk about the passenger thing in a moment. But where Cam's is struggling is there is... the risk in drifting is a lot different to other motorsports. So the wheel-to-wheel thing is a thing. So I've seen a couple of cars roll because of wheel-to-wheel contact, just impact. Just that you pick up the wrong side of the wheel, especially with like not so much in WA, but over east and in New Zealand and that with the Wisefab cars, because the stance is so wide, the wheels are out of the guards a bit. It's very easy to pick up a leading edge of a wheel and turn a car. Then you've also got the rollover isn't so much of a thing, but I'll say, you know, a really, really good friend of mine, Andrew Redwood, pirouetted his car off the end of Pukekohe in New Zealand. So that's a thing in a really fast track. But it's more the side impact. So
we'll readjust your mic there. There we go.
I think the side impact's the big thing for drift, that we need protection for drivers, because you're at a practice night, right? Minimal officials, using the light system. Dude lobs it off the track, not quite aware of what's going on, fires it straight back on the track. All of a sudden, you've got the train coming through, or you've got a fast car coming through. I've had it happen to me on V8 race. It's Chernobyl the front of one of my cars. It happens, man. Like it, and that's the bigger risk, because you know, you get a guy stranded on a blind section of track, or after a fully committed corner.
I've actually...
so we're talking like somewhere like the back half of V8 race.
The back half of V8 race, entry into CAT. You know, somewhere you've already committed, you've already done the entry. It's really hard to pull out of it. And some guys fired back on the track in front of you, or you're in a bigger train and you're on the back half of the train, smoke clears, dude stopped.
I was about to say, that happened
Days of Thunder type stuff.
That happened to a friend of mine, Benny, who he doesn't drift anymore, but V8 race, went up, guy in a 34 in front of him spun. As he spun, big smoke cloud, kept his foot in it. Did all the wrong things you could do. Benny's in the drift coming out of the S's. There, you do not back off. You have to stay in it. And as the smoke cleared, literally from here to the door away, smoke cleared, Benny cleaned this dude up, went straight through his door. He had a cage, fortunately, in the 34. The door wrapped around the seat in the cage and was touching his leg. So he was fortunate to have double-side intrusion and all that sort of stuff to prevent that. But
So going back to what you were saying about is it mandatory to have a cage? There needs to be a split. There needs to be a way in. Like, so with circuit racing, you've got the speed events, you've got the rally sprints, you've got the different events you can come and hone your skills and then get up to a point where you want to go door to door. Same as drag racing. You camp on a Wednesday night, you can do a lot of stuff, but there's when you start
build
going
up to it.
You can build up to it with drifting. So if you sort of sudden say, everyone needs a cage. Everyone needs this. Everyone's got to have 500 horsepower.
Yep.
You stop the growth.
Yeah, you cut the little
or you
guy
make it
out.
harder.
Yeah.
Which you've got to be really cautious of that. But you've got to do everything safe. And I think D1WA led the way a little while ago, and it ruffled this when I was on the committee. It upset a lot of people when they made cages mandatory for passengers.
Yep.
Other states had already done that. That was track enforced, not cams enforced. So other states, the tracks had said, if you're going to come take passengers in a drift, you need a minimum of cage like this.
Yeah.
Because you're putting someone else in danger.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's not just you.
Yeah,
It's
the two of ya.
double the life value on the line, essentially.
And then that's pretty much been and CAMS quickly made that. That's the stance with CAMS. I think through that work with the state councils from D1WA back through to CAMS, through myself, Mike Grogan back in the day, that's what helped make that change happen. And it's, so WA is leading the way with some of that stuff. It's really cool to see.
Yeah.
But I do think there needs to be a entry level, pick it up, and then the full competition spec. There needs to be a split because it's so different between the two.
I was going to say, when you take a brief look at it again, sort of in closing, is in NZ it's hard because the grassroots require the same as the pro, but there's no real, there's no split.
Right.
So it's like guys are going out building $15,000 to $20,000 machines, making spastic power, and they've never drifted before.
Yeah.
So they haven't learned technique, they haven't learned driving ability or car control, and they're like, yeah, cool, I've got a roll cage, I'm just going to put in fourth gear and pin it, see what happens.
Yep.
And
is that really happening though? Is that really happening?
And that's what I've seen more of late, and it sort of sucks. But in WA, we are lucky. We've got avenues for guys to come and learn. So you got like Ken's Drift School, the infield stuff. Like love it or hate it. There is some good stuff going on there, and there's some solid drivers driving cars that should their skill set needs to be at a competition level, but they're just happy. The whole SR cut and shut gang.
Yeah.
Like that.
T28 cut and shut for life.
And they're driving, like Alistair put up a video just the other day and it's killing it.
Yeah.
I'd hate to have to battle that thing. It's wild.
But it's such a basic, when you look at Alistair's car, it's so basic. It's the simplest of
Alistair Lyons is one of the Drift School WA teachers. Yeah.
So it's like, it's hard because that stuff muddies the water because those guys, their ability shows you that if you spend time honing your craft and just beating on it and practicing, doesn't matter what you're doing in life, if you spend that time, you're going to kill it.
Yeah.
But then, if you go out and you build, you just go like, cool, what do I need? Oh, yeah, cool. I need 10 grand's worth of wise fab and suspension. I need another 10 grand donk and a $1,000 shell. Spend 6 months putting it all together. Spend 50 grand, whatever.
Done.
Go out there and go, oh man, this is wild. This is nothing like chopping second in Dad's Commodore.
This is really difficult. Okay, car goes up for sale.
Yeah.
Sell for 20 grand, 1/3 of the cost.
I've driven a couple of wise fab cars now. I've driven a couple of cars with a lot of grip and a lot of power. And they're not easy to drive. You got to be on it, You can't jump into something like Greaves' car and go, fuck, this is what I'm going to do.
This is sick. I can do second gear, little flappies on the throttle. No.
You got to be on it because they'll spit you out. But again, a lot of talk about. I firmly believe there needs to be a split. You need to split the grassroots stuff.
It's got to be two levels. There's got to be something that makes it accessible to the everyday guy who wants to come and give it a go. But there also needs to be something for when things start, when shit starts to get serious, when you start putting a little bit more on the line, you need to have that backup, that protection, because ultimately what we're talking about here is saving lives.
Yeah. Without doubt. So.
And there's different events to try different things, putting controls on tyres and stuff like that to try and rein in the top guys to get some parity.
Let's talk about that. I mean, the whole idea, like a tyre rule is super hard to enforce at a grassroots level because obviously costs and everything. Is it something that you've given much thought to in terms of how it would actually work on a WA scale? Yeah,
so I've been involved in the tyre rule battle since D1WA introduced it. The Darwin boys run on. There is pros and cons for
everything.
We run a control tyre in our circuit racing category, for instance. But with drifting, again, it makes it hard. Yeah, cool. So what you're doing by introducing a tyre rule is you're trying to slow down the pros to get some parity with the guys that are in the cars that their budget or their time they're allowed to work on these things, their other commitments, they can't get to a machine that's capable of that level. So bring a tyre roll to bring everyone closer together. Makes sense until you realise that we've got a really, really tiny field of drifters. It's not like drag racing where you have hundreds of guys. It's not like circuit racing where you have 120 guys on a weekend. You've got such a small field of dudes. So all you're going to do is piss off the guys that have spent the money and have the capability to drive. And then
all of a sudden they get hamstrung by a tyre with tread wear.
They can't do what they want to do. Yeah. And then you make a tyre roll that kind of fits both, and then the little guys are still disadvantaged because
all of a sudden they're trying to drive a massive 315 tyre or something like that.
They can't push a 245, because they got 220 horsepower.
So it's sort of, the tyre rolls work if you've got enough entrance and enough similar stuff. So like DCA, it works well. DCA tracks, right guys, they bring a tyre roll in based on weight. Yeah. That works pretty good.
Now that's Drift Challenge Australia, which is
Luke Fink. Yep.
Okay,
Luke does his thing, and it works because he's got guys that are all really like-minded. They just want to go thrash. They all drive really, really hard. Yeah. Massive talents. You got guys like Dale Campaign, big machine. He's driven the 80GP series, kills it.
And he's level-headed.
And he's
which is he's not.
He's got a cool team behind him. His old man's killer.
He's always whenever he's
with the GH Haulage,
he's always portraying the family thing. It's the family vibe. Yeah, he shows off the people behind him. Where some people tend to forget that and kind of go, "This is me at the top."
Yeah. So and you've seen some pros come into DCA and just get fucking monstered by these guys that can drive. Forrest Wang just got chops. You've seen a lot of guys just turn up and just get monstered. You got some SRs in there that was the guy in the red one went to World Time Attack and he was killing it. Yep. Just hardened DCA driver, hard battler. So that rewards it, but they've got a pool. They've got enough dudes. Yeah. Luke's really hard on just making events happen. Like he works his ass off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Recently had the Adam LZ event?
Yeah. So they got Archie, the Invitational. Archie Invitational. They got Adam LZ coming out.
Has that been yet? That's
happening. 17th. The 17th? This weekend or next weekend. So they got him coming out, which is massive.
Yeah.
So like Luke,
love him or hate him, and I know we're all two of us are rocking pretty grotty mustaches at the moment, but
How you doing?
So they reward that style of driving, and it's a good thing, and like I said, Luke works really hard to make sure he gets enough drivers turning up. Sometimes he gets hamstrung, the drivers just don't commit. It really sucks, but they've got enough over on the East Coast. They've got enough base to be able to pull it off.
Yeah,
here the same here. We don't have enough entry-level drivers to fill an event.
Okay, so let's say we were packing out a field every single event. What does the perfect tyre rule look like? Is it a tread wear situation, like you've got a tread wear rating that you have to satisfy, or is it a control brand as such? Because in my mind, it would be absolutely brilliant if now this is very pie in the sky, but if you could do a V8 supercar style contracted tyre supplier. So let's say we had the local distributor for Ceylon, which is, who have we got?
I think it's Sinbay. I think.
I could get a group or someone like that.
One of those two.
Contracted tyre brand that basically you buy your allocation of tyres for each event, or whether you buy them for the season. To me, that would work on a promotional level. It would work on a tyre rule level. But I mean, the issue there is basically, it's like herding cats.
Yeah. You got to have the numbers. Really. Yeah, so it works for us with circuits. So we've got a really good deal with Perth Motorsport tyres. Yep. We run a hand-cooked control tyre for the over 2 cars. Most of us run a 265 18 and the floor pan sports sedans. That's streetcar style cars, we call them. So that works. So that category is sponsored by Hankook and Perth Motorsport tyres. It's in the rules. We all have to run a control tyre. That's what the control tyre is. There's a couple of cars that, because of the way they're built, they don't suit the sizes that Hankook offers. So they've got some outs, and we've got some other options there, which everyone's signed off on. Yeah. You could do it, but you need everyone to pull together. And whereas drifting, it's still quite hard to get that general consensus. And you have guys that aren't as prepared or professional, or they're just sort of like, I don't even know if my car's going to have an engine on the weekend. I'm not worried about tyres.
I was going to say that's a drifting standard.
You're at that entry level, so it's hard. But I think if you went to a supplier and you said, right, cool, we're signed up, we're a club, we've got 100 drivers, we're going to guarantee you this many tyres an event, you turn up and change them, like Stewie turns up, or Stewie has one of his guys turn up, he does all the open wheelers and stuff like that at the track for us. So you said you're going to do that, and everyone has to run the same. you could make it work, you know.
Yeah.
And you'd have to find something that worked, you know, be it a 235 or a 265.
Yeah.
Basically, when they introduced the Tyre rule, Kinder released a 300 treadwear semi-style tyre. It just killed everything. Everyone just ran Kinder cheap tyres.
Yeah. It was literally.
I mean, I was guilty. I did it, man. I went to Darwin with those tyres on. It was like a bullet. You know, like
you're like, I can't keep my car sideways.
Yeah,
He wants to go straight.
So there's things happen, but I think if you it works in other forms of motorsport. The hard thing with drift is so much emotions, and the reason I think there's so much emotion is because a lot of guys, it's their first car or their first race car. A lot of the younger guys, they haven't gone through karting, they haven't been run over in a kart, they haven't snowballed a kart, they haven't gone through those levels of motorsport like a lot of circuit racers have,
right?
Where they're used to the heartbreak and they're already a bit mentally hardened to what goes on.
Like,
I'm really bad for it. I lose my shit. I get really emotional, get really hamstrung, you know.
Yeah.
And drifting is like, it's the first time that's happening for these guys. So the idea of someone telling them what tyre they can and can't use, it just creates these internet battles.
It's abhorrent to them.
Yeah.
It's very, it definitely brings out people's egos, especially. From time to time, you'll see that, you know, people will be people that you wouldn't think are opinionated, all of a sudden you're like, whoa, well, that's straight out of left field. You know, it's definitely, it's something that can unsettle quite a few people.
So, I mean, I think that you pay to play.
Yeah,
to me, you pay to play.
Yeah, so I've said that before. When the Tyre rule came out, I voted against it. That's the last professional season I did in WA. And I never ran a semi. My car never had the balls to run a semi, like it wasn't fast enough. But in my opinion, I'm stupidly competitive as soon as I put a helmet on, and I wanted to drive against the best.
You get that white line fever.
Yeah, I want to go fast, and I want to drive against the best, and I don't want to drive against. You know, if the best is driving against someone with 1,000 horsepower and a full semi, and if I can nudge him off the line, you know, like that's what I wanted. You know, I didn't want any excuses. But again, you need a split. Not everyone has that mindset. Some guys just want to come up and do a mad series and have fun. Some guys just want to learn and move up the ranks. So throwing into the deep end straight away, that's not the right thing either.
And see, that's the real hard part with our scene in WA is the fact that half and half. Half want to just have fun with their friends. The other half want to be competitive.
Half of these people, they want to push themselves. They want to push their package. They want to push the sport. They want to take it to a new level.
That's a pool of 55, 60 cars.
Yeah.
I mean, we need a minimum of 32 to run a top 32. That's even be considered by a international company to support an event.
Yeah.
You know, we need people in the field. You know, where, like, say, myself, for instance, I enjoy just having fun drifting with friends, but I also want to, I've experienced comp. I know the same things happened with my good mate Silvestro. Everyone knows him as Silvestro, but it's Dan. Same thing. Mr. Steal Your Girl. So, yeah, even with him, he wasn't into comp till I convinced him to do D1 round 3. Me and him had probably the best battle in
that was sick.
In the last 2 years, I think. And, you know, now he's he's already worked out his budget, the whole lot, to do the comp season.
Yeah.
Don't knock it till you try it. That's
the big distance. You have to be serious. If you want to do a comp, you have to budget for a year. I've always had a budget for a year. This, again, I've got a very lovely wife that helps me make sure I do so.
She's very good with the money.
I make sure I budget for a year. I just say, I'm going to do this. Cool. Each round's going to cost this. Cool. I'm going to break X amount of stuff. You have to.
You got consistency there.
And D1W try. They say, right, cool, man, if all the drivers sign up for a year, they can give you a discount, but you sign up for a series, so we know what we've got to work with. Then we can go to sponsor series and say, hey, we've got 32 guys that paid for a year, they're fucking down. And any club could do that. And it's just hard because unless you've got
the commitment
to do it, and the WA just isn't there yet because of the numbers.
That's
it's a numbers game.
It's definitely what we're lacking.
Yeah.